The first race that I competed against a transgender athlete was during my freshman year. And once the gun went off, the two transgender athletes took off flying and left all of us girls in the dust. I knew right then and there that some girls would be missing out on great opportunities to succeed.
That's Selina Soule, a young track star from Connecticut. In 2019, she lost a major high school competition against two transgender athletes, which knocked her out of a college scholarship opportunity. Her story gained national attention, and she and her teammates filed a federal lawsuit against state policy allowing transgender athletes in sports. Under Joe Biden's recent executive order on preventing discrimination against gender identity, protections for women and girls sports could ultimately come to an end. Selina Soule joined us now, along with Christiana Holcomb, who is on her legal counsel for the Alliance for Defending Freedom. Thank you both for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
So I have to ask, and I've been following this story for a long time, as a person, as an athlete, as someone who trains and who works so hard for the opportunity to run at a championship track meet, what did it feel like to watch two transgender athletes blast ahead of you and win?
It's demoralizing and frustrating being forced to compete against someone who's biologically male, because no matter how hard we train and how hard we try, there is nothing that we can do to overcome the biological advantages that these transgender athletes have over the rest of us.
Christiana, can you tell me a little more about this case and where it's at right now?
Absolutely. Well, Connecticut passed a policy similar to the one the Biden administration is attempting to foist on the American people across the board that allows biological males to identify as female and then to dominate women's sports. So as you noted, Alliance Defending Freedom filed a federal lawsuit. We're still in the very early stages, but Title IX federal law is really clear that the whole reason we have women's sports as a separate category is to ensure that young women like Selina have those equal athletic opportunities with biological males.
Christiana, and I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name in the intro there in the open. And Selina, I have a question for you, and this comes from a personal place. I'm a father. A 6-month-old little girl is at home waiting for me. What is her future? If she wants to participate in sports, it will be a while down the road. But if she wants that, will women's sports at that time be completely filled with transgender athletes? Is there even another alternative?
Well, it's a really scary prospect under the Biden administration's executive order, because what it would in essence do is eviscerate women's sports. Look, this is an irresponsible abuse of power that really could spell the end of women's sports if you allow biological males to simply identify as female and then dominate the female category. In Connecticut alone, 2 biological males have swiped 15 women's state championship titles and harmed the prospects and the athletic opportunities and advancement opportunities for girls like Selina.
Selina, what is your advice? You are clearly an accomplished athlete. You're in college now. You're competing in college now, correct?
Yes.
You are doing what many young women dream of, competing in college in sports. They practice, they train. What is your advice to a young woman, potentially my daughter, who's watching this segment right now and saying, should I just drop out of sports entirely?
I would tell them to keep pushing through, and if they feel that it's the right thing, then they should also speak up and try to get that policy resolved, because it'll be a lot easier if there are a lot of people trying to restore fairness to all sports, all female sports.
Such an important issue, such a cultural issue, such a shame that this happened to you. Thank you both so much for joining us. Keep up the fight.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.